me shine so bright, you might go blind. When I walk through windows, they boys. I'm not sure if I know it's time. I am hungry, so
Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making that cute look that we just saw in the beginning in this video today. This is my very first video and I'm excited for it. It's mostly about saw nails. That's what I love. That's what I am into 100%. But I do find myself indulging in other things like makeup and just overall self-improvement. So you might see some of that on my channel every now and then, but primarily it will be about making press-ons. So I'm a newbie to this, and so you will see many times that I will go out of frame, and I'm so sorry. I didn't realize how hard it would be to actually stay in frame the entire time, so that's just something that I'll just have to learn throughout my time here on YouTube. I also noticed that my tripod is in the camera. It's fine. It's fine. Hopefully we will get something new that will not be in the camera and probably hover over my little work area with a more cleaner view and a lot closer. So here I'm using my favorite press-on nails at this time. I guess I'm pretty sure it'll change, but right now it's by Clara Colors and I'm using the shape medium almond. You can find this in like any nail supply store, any nail supply store. Sometimes I'll go online and maybe I'll see them on a nail supply store that's located online that maybe isn't close to me. So yeah, I got these specifically from Lenemy Beauty Supply in Chicago, and so that's where I get some of my supplies, and right now that's where I'm getting those. Right here you can see me prepping the nail. I'm just filing away the shine that's on the press-on nail. I'm using a Melody Susie drill. It's like any beginner drill that you find on Amazon, and so I'm using that. I have a regular like drill bit on it, and I'm just shining away the nail. I find that when I do this step, my gel polish just stays a lot longer and I don't have to worry about chipping or lifting of my nail. The tips themselves are pretty good quality. They are, I would say, kind of thick, but not like thick to the point where it's bulging off of your nail. And so because of that, it just allows me to just buff them down a little bit more. I'm able to get to the edge where the nail will lay on the cuticle and have it lay a lot flatter so that it looks like more like an acrylic rather than a press-on nail, and you can see it lifting by the cuticle. So I find that this step is like essential to my press-on nail process. You know, I've been doing my own press-on nails for probably a year and a half now, and so I've had like a lot of practice just doing them for myself. I find that for me it's like my go-to, because when I used to get my nails done at the beauty salon, it was just too much for me. Like, I was either getting hurt, so they were cutting my nail, being a little bit too rough with my nail, burning my nail bed with the drill. I just find that there was a lot more damage done to my nails, and I just didn't enjoy the experience anymore. I also found that I would have my nails lifted in like 1 to 2 weeks, and they just couldn't do the designs that I wanted anymore. And so I just took it upon myself and just started creating my own press-on nails. And honestly, it has been the best decision I've ever made. Like, the best. I would never go back. Yes. After I buff out my nail with the drill, I try to go over with an actual buffer to like smooth out the nail, because when you drill on top, it kind of creates like this rough and kind of bumpy surface, and so the buffer kind of helps to go and smooth that out a bit, and just make the overall canvas smoother, so that when you go in with the gel polish, it'll be like a smoother application. And so yeah, that's what you'll see me doing here during this clip. And I'm just taking each one of the nails and just like gently buffing over the surface, feeling to make sure that it's smooth. And yeah, I don't like this buffer too much, only because the black pieces that's on the edge of the buffer was just like coming off on the nail, and so I would find myself having to wipe away the black pieces and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if it was just this buffer specifically or what, but I don't like the fact that it's a lot of black residue that comes off of the buffer. So I probably wouldn't recommend this one. Maybe going over with a more sponge-like buffer, one that doesn't shine the nail but just makes the surface smoother. I think that would be good. Also, to cover my table, I'm actually using a puppy pad. I have 2 dogs and they are fully trained, and so I don't use the puppy pads anymore, and I have a bunch of them, so I just figured I would just use them to cover my table and not be wasteful. And so a lot of my videos you will see on my table is pretty much a puppy pad, and I have no shame because it works just the same. I do want to mention that this will be a long video. I would hope that the more and more that I have practice recording and just doing this whole process, that I will have shorter videos. Not that I don't like the long format. I know that it can be a bit boring when you watching somebody doing something repetitive for so long, and so I would hope that over time I just get better at doing this process, filming and editing and all of that good jazz. So this video should be about an hour long when it get posted, so bear with me. I will get better, and hopefully this isn't as boring as I think an hour worth of just watching me do nails would be. Here I'm just reshaping the nail. Sometimes when you use the e-file, it kind of takes away some of that natural shape that's on the tip when you first adjust it to the stand. And so I'm just going on the edges with a file. The grit is 100/180, I think. And I'm just going along the sides, just resharpening those edges and making sure that everything is a bit more crisp. And I'm just, redefining that shape that we may have lost while we were e-filing and buffing the surface of the nail. Okay, so while I do that, I guess I'll use this time to introduce myself. Like I said in the beginning of the video, my name is Jasmine and I am from Chicago. I am, should I let you guys guess how old I am or just say it? What the heck? I'm 24 and I am at a point in my life where I feel that I've done a lot of things, I've accomplished a lot, and I'm just at the point where I'm just enjoying my hobbies. I'm using this time to not only explore what it is like to just post content and make videos and etc., but also document me getting better, I guess, at said hobby, at creating press-on nails. And so that's just something that I just look forward to, and I hope that you can join me along the journey. Like I said earlier, I hope that my channel will be a lot about press-on nails, because I really want to focus documenting me getting better at press-on nails and just the whole press-on nail journey. Because when I would search it up on YouTube, I didn't really find a lot or a lot of people who post press-on nail content and just was still posting today, I guess. So I really missed that. I really had hope to find more content, and so I guess this is where I am today. And so that's what it'll be primarily focused on. I hope that later down the line, as I get better at this thing, I can include more like just nail hauls and a little bit of like life stuff, just to make my account more personable and not just you all just looking at the table and watching me do things. I don't know, let me know and tell me what you guys think that I should be posting or what you would like to see in the comments below. So here I'm taking my Beetles foundation gel as like my first coat and first base of gel. As you'll see, I'm constantly painting out a frame. I'm so sorry. Hopefully I'll get better at this thing. But yeah, so I find that when I do apply this base layer of gel, it not only adds some stability to the nail and just make the structure overall like more stronger, but it also help with adhering my color gels later on. And so that's why I do this step, and it really does the trick. I find that when I don't apply this, I do have a lot of like polish just lifting off in one piece, or just a lot less structure in my press-on nails when I don't apply this base gel. And so this is the Beetles foundation gel, aka the base gel, and I just buy this on Amazon. They have like the full bottles where it's like the top coat and the base coat together, and then they typically always, depending on the kit that you might find, they always have like a foundation, a top, and a matte top coat attached to all of their color sets. So I really do love this Beetles gel. When I cure the Beetles gel, I usually just cure it for about 30 to 60 seconds, so any time in between there. As I'm beginning this press-on nail journey, I have started like my own small business. It's called Mo Claws. Get it? Mo Claws. But my middle name is Monique, and so I was trying to be, different. So I just thought that Mo Claws was like the perfect name, and I just like love the name. And so on the table, I just put like my little business card, just so you can see like what it's a part of and what have you. I make nails for the girls who just love the shape, I find that I'm best at almond and stiletto shaped nails. And two, just love press-on nails in general. Like, I'm just doing this for fun. I thought, why not make a hobby out of it? Why not make it a little small business for myself? And so that is something that I am a beginner to. And I'm so excited for it, just like I'm excited for YouTube. So yeah, check me out on YouTube. Check me out on Instagram. I don't have a TikTok yet, but I'm working on it. And so on Instagram, my name is Mo Claus. And so you can just look up that and hopefully I'll pop up. But if not, I'll have it linked down in the description box. So next here, after I finished laying down that base gel, I was going into my little 6-piece kit, Beetles gel kit that I got from Amazon. And I'm just going in and trying to find a base gel that I want to use underneath my French tip that I'll create later. This first one was like a really peachy nude, and I guess I thought that since I was going to be using orangier colors later on, which you'll see, I didn't want to have such a peachy base. And so I ended up going with this pink color here. And this is like my favorite pink. Like, out of all the bases, this is my favorite. I know that there's a lot of people who just don't like pink bases, and they usually go for a more cool toned base, a very beigey base. But honey, pink gonna do it for me every time. And pink is not even my favorite color, it's green. But when it comes to a good base, this pink is gonna do it every time, baby, every time. So I usually lay, you'll see me, I'll go back and forth painting this base on, and I do 2 coats of this gel and just make sure that I'm thoroughly painting. I'm sorry that I'm out of frame once again, but I promise I'm gonna get better, y'all. I'm gonna get better. So yeah, so throughout this time you'll see me paint 2 coats of gel on each set of the nails, and then I'll, in between each coat, I'll cure it for 60 seconds. The nail lamp that I'm using, I'll just link it down below. It's a very cheap nail lamp that I found on Amazon, and it works wonders. It have not clunked on me yet, and I've been using it for over a year, so that should tell you how good it is. And so I'll just have that link down in the description box. I'm going to try to link everything that I use in this video down in the description box so that you can get it for yourself if you feel like you want these things. I'm not sure if someone will ask, but you'll see me like tilt the nails over upside down. And what this pretty much does is it just levels out the gel, because the gel is moving against gravity when I tilt it over. And so what that pretty much do is just make it more even, and the gel just floats to wherever it needs to float to, I find. And so I do that after each coat just to make sure like everything is even and everything is, just nice. I don't have gloves on, and the reason why I don't have gloves on is because I'm making a set for myself, and so I really don't mind it at all. I just try to make sure I don't get gel on my actual fingers. I'm a clumsy person, so do this method, is it foolproof? No, it's not. Please protect your hand from the UV light and the gel polish in general. But that's why I pretty much don't have gloves on for this set here. Another thing, guys, this is just like a watch and tell kind of thing. I'm not really at the point where I'm doing tutorials. I mean, if you guys want to see tutorials and just have like short, concise visuals, actual learning videos, then I will be more than happy to create those for you guys. Just let me know if that's something you want in the comments below. But I am just, doing what I do and just showing you guys. If you'd like something different, let me know. I also plan to make some videos that are broken down into sections. So like how to prep your press-on nails for beginners, and how to apply your press-on nails, how to remove them. Just shorter helpful videos like that can really help someone down the line who is interested in using press-on nails or maybe new to the whole experience. And so, yeah. Now, I know y'all see my acetone in this heart container. One, I can't remember where I got the heart container from, but it's like one of those mini things you just find in like the dollar store or something. I can't remember where exactly I found it, but that's not even what I'm addressing. It's the color of the acetone that's in it. I realized that when I was using black polish, it was making the acetone a lot darker. When I see it from above, I can see it, but when I was sitting down, you can't really tell. And so luckily it was not changing the color of my nail polish at all, or it wasn't messing up the nails that I was creating, but I need to pay better attention to that. So after I finished the 2 coats of gel from the Beetles New Gel, I went in with these 2 colors. It's like a real true orange and then like a beigey nudish orangey color. I got them from a kit. I can't really pronounce the name, but it starts with a J. And then I'm also using these 2 colors. It's the white and the black from the brand Sunshine. I got them from my local nail supply store. And so I'm going in with all 4 of these colors to just create the design that I'm going for. And yeah, so one of the things that I'm still working on is not wasting things. And so you will see that I put maybe too much of some of the gels on my palette, and I ended up wasting it. Now, did I waste a lot? No, but like anyways, it's low-key kind of bad. So that's something that I'm just working on, just using less as I go. And so what you'll see me do is I'll go in with the white color for my French, and then I'm going to use the orange and the beige to just stamp it on to the French to kind of create an ombre with the colors. Now at this point I was not sure what it was going to look like or what I was going to do period for the design. I was just pretty much doing this as I went. And so yeah, these are 7 milliliter bottles. They're really tiny. If you are shopping online, just make sure you're aware of the sizes. So a 7 milliliter bottle would look like that. So it's super small. But as like a beginner, I'm not really buying expensive polishes right now. At least that's just not where I am in my journey. And so I've just been exploring Amazon and just trying to find affordable polishes that still give you that same quality, or at least close to quality of, you know, your Korean gels or something like that, you know. Here I'm just taking a long thin brush that I had, and I'm just going in and just making my white French tip. Now, usually when I'm doing French tip, I usually put a clear top coat on top of my base before I start doing this. I just forgot. And so I found that my base was a lot more stickier. And so I would suggest, like, before you go into making your design or even doing a French tip, that you put a top coat over this part here, just so that you can prevent messing up your base as you're trying to do the slow down, so that you don't mess up your base while you're trying to do the design. And so that's where I kind of messed up, but it still turned out good. But that's just something that I just, forgot to do. As I'm doing these French tips, I cure each French tip or each set for about 30 seconds before I apply something else to the nail. I just want to make sure that each section that I do, each new element that I add to the nail is just fully cured before I move on to the next. And so yeah, I just cure each 5 pretty much into my UV lamp for about 30 seconds. So now we're moving on to the next part of the design. I didn't have a sponge that I could use for my nails, and so I ended up going into my makeup case and just finding a beauty blender that I just haven't used yet, and I used that to stamp on some of the gel. I did find that you're supposed to use a very dense sponge when you're trying to do a design like this, or just like stamping it on. It could have been, the quality of the gel itself. I found myself having to add multiple layers of each of the colors, and so that's just something to keep in mind as you do this. And again, hopefully you have the proper tools and not use a beauty blender like I did, but it worked out. So I found myself having to add multiple layers of the colors to try to get like the effect that I was going for, I guess. I ended up doing a gradient, but if I'm being honest, I had no idea what I was going to do to begin with. So yeah, trust in the process. After I had got each of the nails to where I wanted it, or at least the color, and I cured each of them for 30 seconds, I went in with the black gel, as you can see here, and I'm just trying to create like tiger stripes. I think this is what you would call them, but it just gave me that vibe, and so I was just trying to go for that. And I don't know, I think they still turned out pretty cute, even though I had no plan for them. And I just went through and just added like random black stripes until I was satisfied with the nail throughout the entire French tip. And so I do this for each one of my nails, and I just take my time with it. After I cured each set of nails for 30 seconds under the UV lamp, I decided it needed a little bit more, bling, a little bit more pizzazz. And as you get to know me, you will know that I love everything glittery. I love everything that's shiny. And so even my boyfriend, well, not boyfriend now, fiance, oops, sorry hub, fiance, he would call me a bird because I just flock to anything that's shiny. He will attest. I just love shiny stuff. And so I just took the smallest gems that I had and I wanted to incorporate it into the nails some kind of way. And so that's what you'll see me doing here. I'm just taking like some random small gems from, I think I got these from Shein, if I'm not mistaken. It was like a big pack. And yeah, they're just like AB, I think the color's called AB crystal or something. And so I just got those, and I'm taking my Macart glue, and I'm just taking a dotting tool. You'll see me later. I'm taking a dotting tool because I find it less messy and I can apply less, because you realize if you squeeze it a little bit too much, a lot can go on the nail, and especially more than you need. And where I want the gems to be in like small amounts, because you don't need much. A lot goes a long way. And I'm sorry you can't see that, but I'm just going through and just dotting, just applying where I want the gemstones to be. This is quite sticky, so you'll see me like shrivel my hand, just trying to like circle the glue off of the nail and just try to make it as clean as I can. And there's no like guide on how to place these. I just placed them wherever I saw fit, and in just random places. I literally had no method. And I'm taking my wax pin thingy. You can get this anywhere pretty much, Amazon, Shein, and I'm just using it to apply my little gems all over where I placed the Macart glue. And I also got the Macart glue from Amazon. So once I placed all of the gemstones all over the nails where I wanted them, I cured these for, I believe, 60 seconds this time because I really wanted it to be secure before I used my top coat. And y'all, this I kind of found by mistake, and I say this because like I thought that the top coat was on clearance, and so I was like, let me try it. You know, anything on clearance just catches my eye if I can use it. And so I found this top coat by Kat Beauty. I tend to lean more towards like thicker top coats because I find, at least in my opinion, they just last longer. And I find that when I use thinner top coats, it just peels off if it's depending on the design that I do. And so I just tend to like thicker top coats because it just does better in my opinion. But come to find out, girl, it was not on clearance. It was just at an affordable price. I got this from my local nail supply store, Lenemy Beauty Supply in Chicago, and it was literally $4 top coat. It's like comparable to Beetles, which is another affordable top coat. They kind of have the same consistency, and so I think that's probably why I love it so much, because Beetles would be up there too. I love Beetles too because it's affordable and it's just good quality. And so yeah, I love this top coat. It's just your regular top coat by Kat Beauty. They do have a glass top coat. I just got it. I haven't tried it yet, so when I try it, or maybe we'll end up trying it together, I'll give you like my opinion of it. But I really do love this one. So I'm just applying one layer. One layer is all you need, and I'm just trying to go around the rhinestones and not get it on the rhinestones, because as all nail techs will tell you, if you get top coat on the rhinestones, it just takes away from the shine over time, and so you don't want it to do that. And so that's what I did here, and I just cure them for 60 seconds until they're nice and dry, and I go over it with an alcohol pad. You won't see that in the video, but you know, that's okay. And I do the same tone over method to make sure everything's nice and even. And yeah, that is my little cute design. Here's the final product. It's so freaking cute. It's so glittery. Love rhinestones. Love it. You guys like this style? It's very super beginner friendly. Love you guys, and I hope to see you on my next one. Bye.